Okay, today's the day that I finally clean up the cable management on my computer setup. Now, also I have gone ahead and got another one of these Bluetooth LED controllers, and this is still the same little RGB strip that I had before when I was doing the PC upgrades. But anyway, we're going to use up the rest of this on the desk, or as much of it as it takes anyway. I think there's probably like 8 feet or something left in this. Anyway, I've added some capacitors to this little LED controller because the power supply that I have isn't very good, and evidently doesn't have enough output capacitance, because it likes to make a nice high-pitched screaming noise because of the PWM that this thing uses. But the capacitors help with it at least. This is just like a cheap little 12-volt 6-amp power supply, very clearly made in China. Anyway, it'll get the job done. So the first thing I'm going to do is put these LED strips onto the desk, and then I'm going to start working on the cable management of the system. But before I start working on any of this stuff, I want to go ahead and show you what the system looks like as it is right now. So first off, I have my blue painter's tape and oil and some belt tensioners for the 3D printer just kind of sitting on top of the speaker. That doesn't bother me too much, but I've got my audio amplifier here. I have a microphone preamp here, which is a little homemade thing. Works good enough. Little microphone, also a little homemade microphone because I didn't really want to buy one, even though they're like 30 cents. Then again, this mic probably sounds better than any really cheap mic that you could get off of like Amazon or eBay. So anyway, that's that set up. I've got the headphones sitting up here. I don't usually use headphones, so anyway, the speakers are usually what I'm using. TP-Link little Wi-Fi adapter here. That actually does pretty good sitting up here in the monitor stand. This is an Asus something or another monitor. It is IPS 1080p. I think it's 24 inches or something like that. Anyway, other speaker, power supply for the 3D printer, some paper. So anyway, 3D printer, that's got a lot of cable management issues as well, but that doesn't bother me so much because when you're sitting back here you can't really see it. Anyway, filament spool for the 3D printer. I keep my calipers back here, and then this is a Cooler Master CM Storm keyboard and mouse combo, just like a $30 keyboard and mouse. Plan to upgrade that eventually, but it's not really a high priority because it works well enough. Anyway, the real mess is what's under here. Now, first off, I have these random USB 3.0 cables kind of laying here. These just come from the back of the computer and get extended up here, and I'm going to take those out completely. I don't use them too often. It'd be nice if I had 2 3.0 ports in front of this computer instead of the 1 2.0, 1 3.0, but anyway, back here now, some people use cable management boxes. I have a space back here that you can't see from the outside unless you're really sticking your head back here. So anyway, that's my cable management box. Oh yeah, I should mention this thing. This is a CyberPower 600 watt or 1000 volt amp uninterruptible power supply. It is pure sine wave that powers the entire setup here. Anyway, stack a 3D printing filament there, and you'll start to see where the wires start, and they're pretty messy. So there's one of the wires that's coming off the 3D printer, I think. And kind of what I want to do is route all these wires down the leg of the table here. That's what I want to end up doing, but if I can anyway, hopefully these wires are all long enough to do that. Anyway, more wires, and more wires, and another wire. This is actually the power for the speaker setup there. I had to extend the wires off my power supply so it would reach over here. And then this is like, I think this is keyboard and mouse USB, maybe? No, that's over here. I don't know what these are for. Oh, these are audio lines. These are headphone and microphone cords. HDMI cable, power cable for the monitor, Wi-Fi adapter, these are the keyboard and mouse, 3D printer power cable, and then 3D printer USB. And also down here I have a couple of laptop chargers. Now these I'm not sure I can really do anything about them. Alright, so really the only thing left to do to this is get to work. And in a previous video I showed some of the things that I bought on Amazon, and one of those things was a whole bunch of these Velcro cable strap things. So that's what I'm going to be using to secure all these wires to something, probably the desk somewhere. I might have to like glue a couple of these up underneath the desk, which is okay. But anyway, that is the plan, and that's what needs to be done on this. So hopefully I can make this look better, but I'm going to start out with the LED strip and get that in place first so I can manage those cables as well. Alright, so here we go with the new PC setup, or the improved PC setup anyway, not that new. Still have the wire dangling around here because this is for my microphone, but anyhow, the top isn't too much different. I've put these two wires bundled together, and I've bundled the wires together. They're coming down from the monitor and that Wi-Fi adapter. And the 3D printer's still a mess, but underneath here, well, besides the fact that there's LED lighting around the top part of this now, it's not that much different. And you see I've actually managed to get that synced up with the computer as well. It's actually fairly easy to do inside that little app for these things. But under here, I wasn't able to get the wires, while they weren't long enough to be able to run them back behind that piece. A couple of them are the USB cable for the 3D printers over there, and the power for those LED strips are under that as well, or behind that. But anyway, now I've got one central bundle of cables that runs down here. Now there's kind of one hanging in here, that's for the speakers. But anyway, I actually did manage to do something with the laptop chargers. You can see here I've got them just with the Velcro straps attached to the piece of wood here. That's going to be a pain if I ever need to take one of these off. I don't usually move around the chargers for the laptops though. Of course, now we have ugly Velcro straps everywhere instead of cables laying on the ground, but I would take the Velcro straps over having those cables there. Anyway, same computer as in the last time you've seen this. Back here, still not too pretty. But like I say, you can't really see this part. Anyway, and it is better than it was. There's a UPS and all the power cords. And then that LED controller has just been stuck up in here with some double-sided tape. And that's about all there is to it. Anyway, there's the front of this. And you can't really see anything. This is the power plug for the 3D printer. I need to put a switch on that printer because right now it's just you plug it in and it turns on, you unplug it, turns off. That's how the printer's wired. But anyway, this looks a lot better. I still need to do something with this fan in here. It's that red fan, and then the RGB lighting doesn't look very good. I was thinking about just cutting the wires to the fan so that those LEDs don't turn on at all. Or not cutting the wires to the fan, but cutting the wires to the LEDs in the fan. Or, of course, just replacing the fan. But anyway, this looks a lot better than it did before.